Welcome back to Productivity in Real Life. This is our Working with Evernote series, and today I just wanted to do a build with me on how to create an automatic daily journal page. Can be similar to what you see here. It can be something completely different, but basically what I wanted to do is show you how to get started in a daily journal page that is automatically created each and every day at the time you specify and ends up in your Evernote system for you to fill out. And you can use it every day, you can use it once in a while, use bits and pieces of it. You certainly don't need to fill out a daily journal every day. It just sort of depends on what you do. Me personally, I like to see the weather in my daily journal. I've got a section here on general feeling and health, when I wake up, what I've been dreaming the night before, a link to my thoughts of the day notes, what I've been eating. I've been trying to stay fairly regimented in my health and fitness over the past 12 months or so, so I like to keep track of what I'm eating, supplements I take. I just do a bold here, if I've taken it or not, my food that I've been eating for the day, and I've got some links to different food lists, recipes, things like that that I deal with on a regular occasion. I'll take measurements of my body fat regions every once in a while here, so I don't fill them in every day. And I'll copy and paste my food macros from the day before. 3 primary things I want to do today. In this case, I've only got 2 of them in here. And then I've got a section for other notes for today, some details about my fitness, what I've done for my morning push-ups, and I've skipped those for today, so it's blank. If I'm working out specifically with weights, if I'm doing a HIIT workout, I'll post the details here. This one's actually, I just pasted in from the other day just to show you my workout for today is usually a late afternoon event. Any injuries, aches and pains that I've got on the go. And then I've got a reminder here, not a reminder, but just a note to myself that if I do have any injuries, I will tag the note with health-injuries, and that way I can quickly reference those later on. Same thing if I've got any specific things on the go for health. If I'm feeling a stuffy nose or got a cough or a sneeze or something like that, anything out of the ordinary, I will tag it so that I can quickly pull up all that information in a chronological order later on. Details on my books that I'm reading, TV that I'm watching, studying, other scribbles. This here was actually I scribbled in here this morning. I had the iPad on the go and just did a quick scribble note with the Apple Pencil into it. And then I've got an end of day closeout, which gives me, again, reminders here to check my to-do lists today at a glance and my now items. And we'll get into those on a future episode. Schedule tomorrow, 3 things that I want to put into, where did it go? 3 things for tomorrow, and anything that I want to sort of contemplate or even meditate on later on. I don't really do much for meditation, but things that I might want to contemplate on for the future or even short term, as in just tomorrow. So anyway, that is my daily journal page for today. It automatically generates, like I said, every day. So there'll be a new note for October 14th tomorrow at 5 a.m. And I'm usually up around 5 a.m. So by the time I make morning coffee and whatnot, this note is already sitting in my Evernote inbox, ready to get some information. And like I said, things are automatically populated in here. The basic outline of the entire note gets filled in, and then I just add the details. I'll bold these things here, how I woke up feeling, what I'm eating throughout the day, or basically this would be a reflection on yesterday. The weather is automatically created. And then the rest, like I say, I just fill in the blanks. So you can create your own journal page that generates all on its own with your own information in there. And I'll show you how to do that. First, we will jump over to our Chrome web browser here. And what we want to go to is if this, then that. And that is abbreviated IFTTT.com. And you will end up with a page similar to this if you're already a user. If you're not already a user, you will need to create an account. And it's free. It's simple. I think you get, they've got a new pricing tier on the go at the moment, so you can be a premium subscriber, which I am, or a pro builder, I guess. So I've got a lot of different if this then that recipes on the go, as they're called. If you're a free user, you get I don't know how many, you get a few anyway to get started with, so you can certainly use it free of charge. To get started though, what we need to do is go create. And the basic process is exactly how the website is termed. If this, then that. So if this, we are going to add a service. And to generate the note that I do with the weather, I use the Weather Underground app, or applet here, or connection, I guess it's properly called in if this then that. So you would click here, Weather Underground, and pick something that you want. So today's weather report is what I use. Again, we jump back to Evernote. I want today's weather in my daily journal. So I would hit today's weather report, complete the trigger fields. Today's weather report. This trigger retrieves today's current weather report at the time you specify. Note pollen count is only available in the USA. That's fine. So the time of day you want it to trigger at. Maybe you don't get up at 5 in the morning. You get up at 6 a.m. So you want the latest weather report delivered for 6 a.m. So you would set the time. We would select the area that we're in. You can choose an address here, or just a city. Create trigger, and it will create the trigger. So now if Weather Underground triggers at that 6 a.m. time, it'll pull today's weather forecast. And now what we need to do is then that. We'll hit add because we want to now create an Evernote note. So we'll just search here, Evernote, click, and what do you want it to do? Create a new note, append to an existing note, create link notes, create image notes from a URL, all kinds of different things here. But we want to just stick with creating a new note. So we'll hit create. This title is the title of your note, so you can leave it the same or you can change it. This is my, if we change here, we'll just go to my journal for, well, today's condition. We don't want that on there. And these, anything in the squiggly brackets is what they call an ingredient. Add ingredient. So we can click and choose out of the list what we want. So we're going to go to check time. That'll pull in the time that the note gets created. And in the body of the note here is all the different options you've got set up for the weather forecast to pull in. You can scroll down and click and select the notebook you want it to go to. I just let it go to my general default notebook, which is my inbox, because I want to see that every day. And tags, you can specify whatever tags you want to. I have a journal tag, so we would leave it as journal. Or you can leave it blank and specify tags on your own later, or ignore them if you wanted to. Back up into the body. So here's where you can modify all of this information and add to it. So the above information is all for the weather forecast. So we can add and remove different text and different items. My weather forecast for today, put a colon on there. Now here's where it gets a little bit tricky and a little bit more advanced for people. See this code here, this BR, and it's inside the triangle brackets? That is actually HTML code, which is more or less the code used to build basic web pages. And Evernote also uses that in its notes. So BR is for a line break or a new line. So my weather forecast for today line here, if we go bracket, BR, and then close bracket, again using the greater than and less than signs, it will put my forecast for today on a new line and then put this today's condition image URL. And because it's in the squiggly brackets, that's one of the ingredient features that the Weather Underground app uses. And you'll see what that all means a little bit later here. So we'll scroll down to the bottom, put in a couple of line breaks that we already learned how to do. We're also going to do another one that's a little more, well, it's not a little more advanced, it's just different. We're going to do HR inside the brackets. And what HR is, stands for horizontal rule. So that's your straight line going horizontally across the page. Jumping back to Evernote, that's one of these right here. We'll jump back to our if this then that, and you could add something else. Let's make it bold. That's the B tag inside those brackets. My thoughts for today. Now, you have to be careful and you have to close your bold text. So that's done again with your greater than and less than brackets. Now to close it though, we use a / just like that, and then the B, and then finish off the brackets. So now my thoughts for today will be bold. We'll do a couple of other new lines. We'll do one and then another horizontal divider rule. Let's try something a little bit different as well for you today. We're going to go big and bold. What can we do here today, or what can we do in this revised journal page? 3 important things to do today. We're going to close the bold. We're going to close the big sized font. We're going to do another new line, and we're going to do another HR just to signify the end of our journal page. So again, we're going to leave it in the default notebook, which is going to come into my inbox. We're going to skip the tags for now. And what we want to do is, if we give everything a quick look over and we're happy with it, we are going to create the action. Now what I'm going to do though, well, we'll create the action. So I want to demonstrate this for you. So if the Weather Underground triggers at that time we specified, then we want to create a note. Now I'm a pro if this then that user, so I can do other things in here. For you, if you're not a pro user, you'll just want to hit continue. We don't usually want to receive a notification, so I always leave that turned off. You can change the title of what you're doing. This is my Evernote Daily Journal demo page, and we'll hit finish. It says it's connected. So this is now set up. We're going to go back into settings in the top right, click, and we can verify everything here. This is my Evernote Daily Journal demo page. It hasn't been run before. It's going to trigger at 6 a.m. Location Calgary is where it's going to pull the weather information from. And here's the title of our note and the body of our note. We could go back in here and make changes and remove things, add things, whatever we want. Again, change the notebook and the tags. I'm going to, just for the sake of demonstrating this though, is change this to 11:30 a.m. because I want to get one of these generated, and I will show you what it does in Evernote. All right, so it is 11:32, and my new note here has popped into Evernote, and we'll just take a look at what ended up happening with what we set up through if this then that. So we'll go back to if this then that into our settings, and we'll just do a quick comparison here. 11:30 a.m. generate a weather forecast in Calgary, Alberta. The title, my journal, and then the date and time. So my journal for, here's how it populates. The body of the note, my weather forecast for today. My weather forecast for today. Today's condition image URL. And what you get is basically, in my case here right now, is clouds with a sun behind it. I don't use that on my own journal notes. You can if you wish, but you can see it takes up a fair size of the note. Jumping back to if this then that, the image, a couple of breaks, the high of, and we've got temperature in Fahrenheit here. So there is an option to change that to Celsius, current temperature Celsius. We could change that if we wanted to. We could remove it, we can modify it, we can move things around. Current wind speeds. Now you'll see there's a lot of space in here. We got 1, 2, 3 lines in here of extra space that we don't need. And you can see lots of those line breaks. So we don't need to double up on them. We can single space if we wanted to. But you get the idea. You can come in here and reformat it. Pollen, like the original thing said, pollen doesn't work outside of the US, so I could delete that right out of there. If we wanted to change sunrise and sunset to the same line, sunrise, we take out these BRs, sunrise. We'll put a dash in instead maybe, sunrise and sunset. You might want to combine different things. UV index and humidity. Again, take out those BRs. And we've already got the time on our note title, so we could take that out as well. I know where the weather's coming from, so I'm not going to bother putting that forecast URL in there. And then that will eventually, the next time the weather report triggers, we will get an update in here, and those changes will be reflected. So that is how I create a daily journal page with the weather forecast already pre-populated. Like I said, I don't use the image, and I have things cleaned up a little bit differently. Things are tighter together. Now I'm changing the note, and that won't have any bearing on tomorrow's journal update. So you have to go back into if this then that and clean up this code here. And you might be saying, hey, how come mine that I originally showed you is got colors in there, there's emoji, it looks so much better. Well, I have just simply changed that code, and it's just taking a while to load there. I've just changed that code that's in here to show me different things. I've gone to the website emojipedia.org. I've found different emojis. Jack-o'-lantern. Maybe, I want to talk about Halloween, so I'll copy that and I'll put that into my daily journal. My thoughts for today. Lead up to Halloween. A couple of line breaks in there to put some thoughts on my leading up to Halloween moments of the day type thing. You know, it's all up to you on how you do this. If I go back home, and I'll show you the code for mine. So again, I just now have to search for weather. Here's the one that we just created as a demo. This is my working one here. So we'll go in here and I'll just show you the code for it. It's connected. We'll go to settings. Runs every day, 5 a.m. My nearby address is in here. My note title, personal journal for the time. And now I've got all kinds of different code in here, and you can see the different emojis. Here's one here under fitness notes. Here's my 3 main things to do. Here's all my different bolds and unbolds and line breaks. My horizontal rules down here. My end of day closeout information. And you can see I've got some extra stuff in here. These ahref equals Evernote links. These are what needs to be done to create a link to an Evernote page. And I will show you that actually very quickly here. But first, let's just jump back to our journal page, and you can see here's all those things that were at the start. Jump back here. Here's all these different emojis and all these ahref links to different Evernote pages. So I've got my journal page, my personal page, work page, business page, family, social. These are just quick links into different areas of Evernote. Here's my actual weather forecast, all trimmed up and made in what I call nice and neat. Cloudy today with a high of +6 Celsius and a low of -1. Currently -3 outside. Wind speeds, sunrise, sunset, that's all in the same line now. My UV index and my humidity on the same line. And I've just added a note here to myself, update location in if this then that, just in case I forget where it's pulling location data from. My general health notes. If we scroll down here, here's all that weather, all in this section. Here's my general health notes, all in this section. What I've been eating, all down in this section. Lunch, breakfast, supper, and so on. So you can see how you can build the journal page to exactly what you want and how you want it. This is information that's important to me. You might not have that information either available or it might not be of use to you, so you can customize your journal page exactly how you want. And like I say, I use that weather underground trigger on if this then that because I like to have the weather in there, and you don't need to use that at all if you don't want to. There's other ways of triggering the applet. You can trigger it based on location. I've got actually one that triggers whenever I go to the airport. It says, hey, where are you up to? Where are you going today? And I can just fill in the blanks. So that's my daily journal page. Now, I wanted to show you here, because we've got these links to different Evernote notes. And as you can see, I'm using Evernote version 10. And it's got a few little bugs and quirks in it. So we're just going to, for this part, jump back to Evernote Legacy. And as you can see, the journal page works just fine for that as well. Here's the one that we just created for the demo. We've taken out the weather, as you saw on the other one, so it's already synced up. But here's my actual journal page. Let's jump to my thought of the day. It's an Evernote note link. Click. And I have it pull in 10 different thoughts of the day that I can look at, I can read, I can delete if they're irrelevant or something I don't want to keep, but otherwise I get different thoughts of the day. Here's one from Charles Darwin. The very essence of instinct is that it's followed independently of reason. It too is a note link, but it's just interesting reading right off the hop. And if you want to generate a link to another note, all it is find your note. In this case, here's my research board that I'm working on. Right click, copy internal link, and this generates a link to that note. So now what we can do is go back to our journal page. Let's go back to our original demo page here that we were doing. Back and back. Weather. Here's my demo page right here. Settings. Scroll down to the body of the note. Don't forget our research board. Now if we hit paste from that note link that we created in Evernote, again, Evernote legacy for that, right click, copy internal link, we jump back to our if this then that page and we hit paste, you'll see you get a link here for a website. What you want to do is paste that into those href tags that I previously described. So we go colon or greater than sign, less than sign, sorry, a space href equals, and then we put a quote, and now we'll paste that same link. We do an end quote, and now we do a close bracket or the greater than sign, research board. We come back to the end of that, and now we close that with a /a. So these A's are a link to somewhere else. In this case, Evernote is going to pick up on this, that this is a note link, and it is going to surround the words research board. Next time you generate the page or your daily journal, when that updates at 5 a.m. the next day, you will get a revised version that then shows you that new link to the note in here. And I'm just going to do a quick demonstration of that. We're going to set a new time here, 12 noon, save, and I am going to let that regenerate here in the next couple of minutes and show you exactly how that looks. So Evernote has updated here with our revised journal note. It's got our note link here, and we'll just jump back to if this then that to show you. Do the settings here and scroll down. This is that ahref equals and then the note link code that we inserted here. So what it looks like in your Evernote note is basically this. Don't forget our research board, which is now a note link to this particular note right here in my Evernote account. So if we click, it jumps over to our research board. And this is how you can build in basically a table of contents or a dashboard even type of note into your daily journal. It's what I've got here in various locations. I've got various key areas of my life that I check on during the day. I've got my thought of the day note here. I've got food lists, food journal, measurement log for my body fitness. I've got various fitness note link here. I've got to-do now items listed here, and so on. So you can get an idea. That's a little bit about how I use those note links, and it is just as simple as I showed you. Research or find the note you want to link to, right click, copy the internal link, and then over on your if this then that, you are pasting that link. If this then that, we will go over and paste, and now what we do is we surround that with this code a space href equals quote. Then at the end of all that link information, basically this link information gives you your user ID and your note ID. Close the quote, close the bracket, And then this is the link text. And then we close all that. And so when you get the new note again, it'll show up. This is the link text. We'll have the underline on it, and it will go to that note. This is the one we were doing the demonstrations with here. So again, there's how that shows up. It'll link through to there, and we'll hit back. And that is how you develop a basic, automatically updating new note for every day personal journal page, or you can call it whatever you want. I call it a personal journal in my case because it generates every day. We get to see the new weather as soon as we wake up, and we start building out the page. And you can dress it up. This image here, I just jump over to Reddit. I go to their ultra wide wallpaper section, and I just see what's new for images. There's the one I've used for today. I just copy, and I will paste that manually into my Evernote account, just like you see here. And again, over on this page here, this is Evernote version 10 for Windows that you can see I'm working with. The other version, the legacy version, works just fine. The one quirk with the Evernote legacy version is the note links don't work as they're supposed to. You saw on the legacy version, it opened the note. In the case on the new Windows 10 version, or not the new Windows 10 version, but the new Evernote 10 version, as you click, it says here's the note link, so that's fine, an extra step, but we click on it and then it opens Evernote for the web. And that's something Evernote knows is a problem, and they're working on fixing it from what I'm aware of in the Evernote forums there. They've identified it as a problem, and it's definitely on the fix list. So I'll be eager to see when that's fixed. For now though, Evernote Legacy version 6.25 works quite well. It's the Evernote we all know and love here on Windows, and yeah, note links work just fine, so I'm not afraid to continue using them. And you'll see here, here's another. This page isn't automatically updated or anything, but I've got lots of note links and they all work. They go note to note just like they're supposed to. So again, I'm pretty confident that Evernote's going to fix that bug on the Windows 10 version. So in the meantime though, you can set up your daily journal page and use it quite fine. That was a demo. Yeah, that was a demo one I was working on. Here's my actual journal page for today on the Evernote version 10. So you see my graphic there, the weather, my general notes about what I've been eating and how I've been feeling. Yesterday's food macro counts that I paste in there, stuff about my workouts, handwritten notes that came up on the tablet today. So yes, that is how to build a daily journal page in Evernote that gets automatically created each and every day for you. Let me know in the comments section down below if you've got any questions or any problems, and I will do what I can to help you out. Other than that, thanks for watching Productivity in Real Life. Be sure to like, subscribe, and of course, share this video if it was useful.